Hi guys, Vedant's Computing here. In this video, I'm going to be showing you how to create a calculator in Python 3.8.3. Now, as you've already seen, Python is a calculator, or like it is a calculator already. It can do multiplication, division, addition, subtraction, powering, square, cube. It can do all of that stuff, right? But I wanted to create a more user-friendly calculator here, so I'm going to just create my own calculator function. All right, so we're going to define this function. It's not going to take any arguments, and I'm going to put this rest of the code in a while true loop, and you'll see why. Next, I need to tell the user about some instructions. So I have made some instructions here, and it's basically instructions on what the calculator can do. So it's kind of more like guidelines of how to work the calculator. So here it tells you what to type, and then what it will do after you've typed that. Okay? So we have everything from add to divide, and then we have the squaring, cube, and the power. And then after you're done with the calculator, you can click quit or enter quit actually. So next I need to create something called a user input, okay? And that's because I want to know what the user types here. So which is why I've written user input is equal to input command, and then the user types something here, and whatever they type will become user input. By default, it will be a string, okay? So user input is now a string, whatever they type. Okay, so I could type the letter B here, and user input will become B. All right, let's click enter now, and now we can actually start with the first if statement that would tell the calculator what to do with this string that you've typed. So what to do with the user input. So the first if statement is going to be, let's see, okay, yes, the first if statement is going to be addition. How it works is, if the user input is add, so say I type add here, remember user input is a string, so this is why I've put these in quotations. So if the user input is add, after I type add, the first number, n1, which is number 1, will be a float of the input of the first number that they type. So the reason why it has to be a float is, say this was an integer, right? And say I type 3.5 here. If I type 3.5, then if this is an integer, then it will round 3.5 down to 3, and we don't want that. We want it to remain as a float so that we can actually have the correct answer to this addition. So the second number also has to follow that rule, has to remain a float so it doesn't round down and become an integer. And then we just print the first number plus the second number. So all I'm asking it to do is enter two numbers, it turns those into floats, and assigns them to number 1 and number 2, and then it just prints them. Done. That is literally what you're going to see after you've typed add. Okay, now we can continue with the remaining 6, I think. Yep, the remaining 6 commands. Okay, so the next one is subtract, and you can see I've already written it here. Same rule, except instead of writing add, you want to write subtract, so that when you type subtract, it will skip this because it doesn't meet the requirement, and it will go here because the user input is subtract. All right, and then it will again make it a float. We want to have an accurate answer, and instead of printing the addition, it will print the subtraction here, which is why I use the minus operator. Next one, multiplication. Multiplication, instead of using the plus or minus operator, we use the multiplication operator, which is the star here. If you press Shift 8, then you can get that. All right. And instead of writing add or subtract, we write multiply. Brilliant. Next one is division. So if the user input is divide, all right, if they say divide, then again, they make the numbers into floats, not integers, and assign it to number 1 and number 2, and then print the division. Okay, brilliant. And the next one now is going to be square. Now, when you square a number, you don't actually need two numbers because a square of a number is just it times itself. So the square of 2 is just 2 times 2. Which is why we only need one number, as you'll see here. If the user input is equal to square, then we only need one number, so n is equal to the float. Again, we want it to be accurate. The float of the input, I'm asking it to input a number to square. And then we just print the number times the number, n times n. As you can see, n is the number. Okay? Again, for cube, it's the same thing, but it's n times n one more time. So instead of timesing it just by n times n, you times yourself 3 times. Here, n times n. Number times number times number, or 3 times 3 times 3. And then, so 3 times 3 times 3, 27, 3 times 3, 9. So that's square and cube, done. Now we want to do power, okay? Power means like, I want to raise any number to any number, okay? And the bottom number of a power is called the base, and the small number on the top and on the right is called the exponent. So here's what I've written for power. If the user input is equal to power, so if they write power, then I want them to enter the base first, all right? The base is the big number at the bottom, and I want to keep that afloat. And then I want them to enter the exponent after. So that's the small number on top and to the right. Okay, and then I'll use the pow function here to simply raise that number to another number. So n1 raised to n2. And if we take that away first, it will print pow. You can see that actually inside it tells you what to do. So it tells you what arguments the function pow takes. So here it takes the base and the exponent, which is brilliant. It's exactly what we want. Our base in our case is n1 and our exponent is n2. So that's where I just go ahead and write n1 and n2 separated by a comma. And that's the power done. Now I can raise any power to any power. And we can just finish that print. There we go. And finally, I can end this with a quit. All right. So else if the user input is equal to quit, then it will just break. And I'll just show you one thing which you might have forgotten right now. Uh, the reason why we have to have break is, remember, we put this in a while true loop all the way up here. So that while true loop will keep running after, say after it's printed all of this, right? And after I've written something in here, after it's finished executing the if statement, then it will go back up and print this again. Because it's a while true loop, this will always be true. Unless I type quit and it completely breaks the program, the function, in fact. And then it will just go back to the line over here. So that is the calculator in Python 3.8.3. I will show you it working now. So let's call the function calculator, no arguments, boom. There we go. Okay, we'll do all of them. Why not? So add 1, 2, 3. Okay. Subtract 4. Find 3, 4, 3, 1. Then multiply 3, 4. Why not? And divide. We can do whatever we want. I'm just gonna do 10 and 5, I guess. Any number, you can put any number and it'll work. Okay, square, we only need one number. So 4, 16. Then cube is going to be 3, which will be 27. Brilliant, that works. And power, okay, let's see if this works. Base, we're going to put 3. And exponent, 2, so 3 squared. 9. Okay, well, why don't we do something more complicated for the power, if it can handle it. Let's do 4 and 5. 1024. So it can actually do this. It can raise 4 to the power 5. Brilliant. And then if we want to quit this, we can just type quit. Wow. Okay, so that program works really, really well. You can see here, this is a more user-friendly calculator than what Python already has built into idle. So thank you guys for watching so much. I hope you like this video tutorial. If you did, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel. I upload these Python videos quite a lot, actually. I'll leave some links to some other videos down in the description if you want. And I guess that's all for this video. Please comment if you want me to do anything else. So any questions you have, then please comment them down below. That's all for this video, guys. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.